Afternoon. I'm Jimmy James. You're watching Catch It Live First. We've got coming up for you now the Moto GP race from Germany at the Sachsenring. Hard front, medium rear. That's across the entire grid. Tyres are obviously going to be needing to be looked after in this race. Who can look after a tyre the best? And here Bastianini's not bad at it, is he? I've got a feeling Jorge Martin for the victory, though. But then it could be Bastianini who's going to... I don't know. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going to have to nail my colours to the mast early. Is it going to be a factory Ducati or could Jorge Martin do the bizzo? See Miguel Oliveira yesterday, he put in a good show, didn't he? But a shortened race with a sprint race, tyre issues aren't as much of an issue, and Bastianini can definitely look after a rear tyre. In saying that, if Pecco Bagnaia can get a lead at the front of a second and a half, we know he can control a race off his pit board. So it's going to be a difficult one. For me, I'm going to go with not the Trackhouse Aprilia. Let's go with. I'm going to go with Jorge Martin. I'm going to go with Jorge Martin to get his championship back on course. He's still in the lead of it, although by such an ever reduced margin now. It's looking a bit cloudy. Could we get some rain as well, which would throw another curveball into the mix? I've got to go with somebody, so it's going to be Jorge Martin. Top three, Jorge Martin from Pecco Bagnaia and Bastianini in third. From what I saw yesterday as well, Bastianini didn't look too interested in putting a move on his teammate for now, Pecco Bagnaia. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, Marc Marquez, with that injury, longer race, it might affect him a little bit more. Might also give him a little bit more time if he's looking to get to the front. How much tyre is he going to have to use to do so? So I can't be going with Marc Marquez, even though he's a Sachsenring maestro, isn't he? That's his circuit. But not for the last couple of years, that's for sure. So with the grid for this race, if we go with Martin P1, Oliveira P2, Fernandez P3, Bagnaia P4, Alex Marquez P5, then you've got Frankie Morbidelli in 6th, Maverick Vinales in 7th, Di Giannantonio 8th, Enea Bastianini in 9th, Pedro Acosta in 10th, Brad Binder 11th, watch Binder at the start, and Marco Bezzecchi in 12th. I don't think Maverick's going to... See, I didn't put Maverick into the mix. No, I'm going to be sticking with Martin for the victory. Lock it in. We're off on the warm-up lap. Let us know in the chat what you're thinking. Who are you going to be picking? One thing's for sure. It's going to be an interesting race. No spoilers, obviously. But Moto 2 was almost like a Moto 3 race with tyre conservation being a real issue. And obviously, then you get the bunching, which makes it very Moto 3-esque. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me the flares are going off now. Grand Prix attendance for the weekend, over 250,000, a record. Fantastic support for this sport. Yeah, if we get a smattering of rain, could be interesting. Martin, championship leader by 15 points from Bagnaia. Marc Marquez is in third. He's 66 points behind, though. He'll be happy with any kind of result this weekend. Any points will be a bonus after his injury. He's got an injury to his finger. I think it's his little finger. Not so much of an issue. The one to his ribs is an issue, for obvious reasons. But adrenaline is a wonderful thing. Let's hope for Jorge Martin that he can get his suspension to sit down as they come onto the pit straight and take up their grid positions. He had a couple of practice starts where the where the rear didn't sit. The front did, the rear didn't. Looks all right there though. The flagman's at the front with a red flag. The green flag at the rear. Both say everything's good to go. The red lights come on. We are go, 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 go. Jorge Martin got a great start. He absolutely nailed that. He'll lead into turn one. But he runs wide into turn one, does Martin. Although he manages to hold that place in second from Oliveira. The smoke's drifting across the circuit. Not a problem though. Let it all settle down. Alex Marquez is running a little bit wide there. "30 laps to go. Long way. Although they are short laps. But interestingly, between MotoGP and Moto 3, I think there's only about a 6-second difference around this circuit. So we've got Jorge Martin P1 down the waterfall for the first time. Maverick Vinales was looking a little bit twitchy going down there, not fully up to temperature than tyres, that's for sure. So we've got Martin P1, Oliveira P2, Pecco Bagnaia P3. A little bit of a gap then to Alex Marquez in fourth, Maverick Vinales in fifth, Frankie Morbidelli sixth, Raul Fernandez 7th, Bastianini in 8th, Marc Marquez 9th, good start, Brad Binder in 10th. We come over the line, 29 laps to go, end of lap 1. Jorge Martin deep into the corner, takes a late apex. He's just pulling out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bike lengths over Pecco Bagnaia now, who's in second after he's dispatched of Oliveira. Alex Marquez gets done there by Frankie Morbidelli, sits him up, lovely. Harsh but fair, well done Frankie, he's on it. Then at the back of Alex Marquez now, we've got Maverick Vinales. He's coming under a little bit of pressure from Raul Fernandez. Marc Marquez, oh, your rib's going to hold up. Bastianini was out wide there. Through turn 10. Now we go through the waterfall of 11. Down to 12. Pecco Bagnaia closes right up on the brakes there on Jorge Martin. They're coming into the final corner. A bit of a block pass coming from Pecco. And he holds the apex well there as he takes Jorge Martin. So we cross the line, end of lap 2, 28 to go. Fastest lap of the race from Pecco, 1:21.1. Frankie Morbidelli takes Oliveira, he moves into third place, so it's Pecco at the front now, followed by Jorge Martin. Frankie Morbidelli in third. Miguel Oliveira fourth, Alex Marquez fifth, Maverick in sixth, Fernandez seventh, Marc Marquez eighth, he's dispatched Enea Bastianini. Rounding out your top 10 is Brad Binder. Pecco's trying to put a bit of a gap into Martin here. I expected he might try and do this and then just manage the pace off his pit board. But you can't be doing that if Martin can stay on your back tyre. The next question is, if they're going to be riding like this, how much tyre are they using? And how much speed will they be losing in the final few laps? And this is where the likes of Maverick, the likes of Enea Bastianini can come to the fore if they've looked after the tyre. Come onto the pit straight. There'll be 27 laps to go now. Morbidelli puts the fastest lap of the race in a 1:20.8. That's a fair old pace, that, if you're going to last another 27 laps. Still Pecco P1, Martin P2. Morbidelli on the move forward in P3. Where's Pedro Acosta? Pedro Acosta's in 13 behind Marco Bezzecchi. Shame we haven't got a Brit in Moto GP. Can't say that for F1 though, can we? We've got 3 Brits on the first 2 rows of the grid. P1, P2, P3. We've got Brits with Max Verstappen lurking going forward. So we're going to do, seeing as it's the British Grand Prix, we're going to do an F1 watch along. That'll start at 5 to 3. Could be some weather around, which could make it even more interesting, hopefully. So into the final corner, turn 13. 26 laps to go. Martin ride on the pike now with Pecco. Pecco's good on the brakes, so into turn 1. Martin just holds station right behind him. Equidistance the first 5 riders. Bagnaia, Martin, Morbidelli, Oliveira, Alex Marquez. All the bike length in between the lot of them. Then there's a little bit of a gap to Maverick Vinales. You've got Raul Fernandez and then Marc Marquez. Did we rule Marc Marquez out because of his injury a little bit prematurely? Because we know what a master Marc Marquez is around this Sachsenring circuit. We know left-handed, anti-clockwise circuits, Marc Marquez is the master. And he was pretty much untouchable here. Alex Marquez has just done Fernandez going into the waterfall. That's a ballsy move. And he holds a position into turn 12. He doesn't run wide. Bravo, Alex Marquez. Come into the final turn, turn 13, as we go over the line. 25 laps to go. Pecco Bagnaia P1, Jorge Martin P2. Frankie Morbidelli still in 3rd position. Then you've got Alex Marquez. He's just going to get done into turn 1 though by Miguel Oliveira. No, he doesn't. Who's going to hold that position for P4? Oliveira. He gets done over again by Alex Marquez, who finally gets that move done. And Oliveira's got more trouble now because right behind him is Maverick Vinales. Then there's a little bit of a gap, about 7-8 bike lengths to you know who, Marc Marquez. So Marc Marquez is in 7th, then you've got Raul Fernandez in 8th, and Bastianini still in 9th where he started, looking after his tyres obviously, without a shadow of a doubt. And rounding out the top 10 is Brad Binder. But the front 3 are just starting to pull a little bit of a gap over Alex Marquez in 4th. It's as you were, Pecco from Jorge Martin from Frankie Morbidelli. Coming over the start-finish straight now. 24 laps to go. Jorge Martin's trying to line a pass up on Pecco. He's going to let the brakes off. It's going to be a block pass. They're going to both run wide, take a late apex, but Jorge Martin gets that job done. Fastest lap of the race there for Jorge Martin as he takes the lead from Bagnaia. Morbidelli still in 3rd. A little bit of a gap then to Alex Marquez 4th. Miguel Oliveira 5th. Jorge Martin, as things stand, would be 20 points in the lead in the championship from Pecco Bagnaia in 2nd. Marc Marquez in 3rd would be 82 points in the rear from 66 before the race. But anything, where are you going? Maverick Vinales, through the gravel, he's going towards the barrier, doesn't bail, he manages to turn the bike slightly, gets it back on the track, but he's dropped down to 18th. I don't know what happened there, whether he lost the front a little bit. Looked like it was his own incident. I didn't see anyone else involved with it. So that's pretty much done Maverick for the race. So there's 24 laps, soon to be 23. No, 23 laps. Jorge Martin, P1. Pecco Bagnaia, P2. Frankie Morbidelli, P3. Alex Marquez, P4. Miguel Oliveira is looking at taking that position back, but can't quite do it, so he'll stay in 5th. Frankie Morbidelli's having a look at Pecco at every opportunity. Yields a tighter line than Pecco there, but no chance of a move. At the front, Jorge Martin just pulling out a bit of a lead here, half a second. So he might be using a little bit of tyre and then try and do what I expected Pecco Bagnaia might do and run the race off his pit board. Just looking at the weather, it looks a little bit overcast in Germany at the Sachsenring, so that could potentially be an issue. Coming down into turn 12, bottom of the waterfall, Jorge Martin. That gap's come down now to just under 0.4 of a second, so Pecco's not letting him get away, coming to the final left-hander. Very shortly, there will be 22 laps to go. Seems a lot of laps, but they don't half reel them off quickly. When you're doing 1 minute 20 laps. Here we go, block pass coming from Frankie Morbidelli. He runs a little bit wide. Pecco cuts back underneath, but can't quite do it. Morbidelli uses some tyre and gets the power down. Keeps Pecco at bay. That just allows the gap at the front for Jorge Martin to move up to 0.7 of a second. Is Frankie thinking, I've got the pace to go after you now, Jorge Martin? And he may well have. However, I don't think Jorge Martin's particularly using a great deal of tyre, whereas Frankie, he'll be leaving some rubber behind, that's for sure. Fastest lap of the race though, 1:20.667 for Jorge Martin, the last lap. Morbidelli looked like he just lost a little bit of drive off the rear there as they came down the waterfall. But you can see that gap growing. What's he going to do about it? Pecco Bagnaia is going to be coming under pressure from Alex Marquez anytime soon. And it won't just be Alex Marquez, because you've got Miguel Oliveira right behind Alex Marquez. Cue the Jaws music. Guess who's right behind Miguel Oliveira? Marc Marquez incoming. Is the adrenaline going to allow him to get over the injury to his ribs that he's got? It must be hard breathing though. And I get Digi's out the race with, he's looking at the back of the bike, whether it's a tyre issue or something to do with the lowering device, I don't know, but he's out, he's in the pit lane. We've got Jorge Martin P1, Frankie Morbidelli P2. Right. Pecco Bagnaia P3. Alex Marquez P4, right on the back of Bagnaia going down the waterfall. And there's a bit of a gap now between Alex Marquez and Oliveira. And Oliveira's going to have Marc Marquez right on his... He's going to have him right on his pipe into turn 1. They come out of 12 into 13. Marc Marquez is going to line Oliveira up for a pass here. You can just see it. Both get good drive out of the final corner though. Matt Aprilia pulls well down the straight, so it's going to be line astern into turn 1. Nobody runs wide. Mark Wood's a slightly tighter line, but and also Bastianini's now made a couple of places up. He's starting to make a forward move. He's in 7th behind Marc Marquez. They go through turn 8. They go through turn 9. Turn 10. And then the fearsome turn 11, the waterfall. At this stage of the race, though, you're hoping you've got plenty of heat in the tyres for this right-hander. As Alex Marquez is putting Pecco Bagnaia under some pressure now as they come down the hill into turn 12. Pecco's good on the brakes there, though. They come now to the final left-hander, turn 13. Alex, as he trying to move, takes a tighter line there onto the pit straight, drifts a little bit wider on exit, but gets the power down early. He's putting the pressure on Pecco, but Pecco once again, he's got it sideways into turn 1, but there's no way through for Alex Marquez. And the front two, Jorge Martin's got a 0.6 of a second lead over Frankie Morbidelli, but Frankie de Morbidelli has got a 0.8 of a second lead now over Pecco Bagnaia. But once again, when they're in tyre conservation mode somewhat, you don't know whether that's down to raw pace or whether it's just Pecco looking after his tyres a little bit more than Frankie. We'll find out as the race unfolds, that's for sure. Alex Marquez is still looking to get past Pecco Bagnaia, and all the time he's so close, his front tyre pressure is going to be going up, up, up. Come through turn 10, turn 11, down the waterfall. Alex Marquez tries to line up Pecco, but there's nothing doing there. There's at least a 2 bike length difference between the two. Whether he's trying to get a run, he's a little bit closer now as they come into the final left-hander, T13. Is he going to try and get a better drive onto the straight? He's close enough, but I don't think he's going to be able to outbrake. No, definitely not. He just follows Pecco into turn 1, hoping that Pecco runs a little bit wide, takes a late apex. Alex Marquez does also, and Oliveira in 5th also takes a late apex. So it's as you were, 18 laps to go. That gap at the front between Jorge Martin and Frankie Morbidelli has come down to 0.4 of a second. Oh, yeah, Frankie Morbidelli is bringing that gap down at the front, and which means he's increasing that gap to Pecco Bagnaia in 3rd. It's down to 0.3 of a second, the gap between Martin and Morbidelli. So Frankie is on it. It's just how much tyre is he using. So 2 teammates here. Is Frankie going to pull a move on Jorge Martin? He definitely will, won't he? That's what we love about motorbike racing. I mean, if it was the final race of the year, obviously you wouldn't do anything silly, and you'd probably help your teammate. But I get the feeling that from just watching Jorge Martin at the front and watching Frankie Morbidelli in 2nd, Frankie's definitely using more tyre. And he's looking, I'm just looking at his rear tyre there now, he's looking to, on the right hand side, believe it or not the left, he's looking to get a little bit of banding. We're now having a closer look at, I can't see then on Bagnaia, but on Frankie Morbidelli there's definitely some banding on his right hand side of the tyre to come down the waterfall. Marc Marquez is still behind Miguel Oliveira. And then you've got Enea Bastianini just behind Marc Marquez. So your winner's going to be coming from this top 7. There's then quite a considerable gap to Raul Fernandez in 8th. And he isn't going to have been saving that much of his tyre. We come over the start-finish straight. Hi, pal. 16 laps to go. Jorge Martin, that gap's come down again to Frankie Morbidelli, P2. Pecco still in P3. Alex Marquez, P4. Can't get the move done on Pecco in third. Just cannot get him on the brakes, but he's strong on the brakes, isn't he, Pecco? Alex Marquez just dropped back a little bit there. Maybe that's due to his front tyre temperature. But now, Bagnaia, Frankie's made a mistake there. He's right in the clutches now of Bagnaia, and the gap to the front man, Martin's gone up to 0.9 of a second. He's having a look on the inside. He won't be able to do that though in T8, sorry. Then we go T9. Then we go T10. Then we drop down, he's lining him up as we drop down the waterfall into T11. And I've got a feeling T12, Morbidelli's going to be losing a place. Yeah, Pecco comes on the inside of him, does him on the brakes there. Doesn't run wide. Takes the position with ease. Just that one mistake from Frankie. So him back into the clutches of Pecco. And the lead at the front goes to over 1 second for Jorge Martin. Ben James is in the house. What do you think of the footy last night, mate? Hey, great.
Okay, somehow in the semi-final.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it.
I believe that. I'm touching Wednesday.
Traitor. But at the front, that gap's gone up to 1.2 seconds now for Jorge Martin. See that, pal? Yeah, 1.2 seconds Jorge Martin's lead over Pecco Bagnaia now after Frankie made that mistake somewhere. As you 14 laps to go. Jorge Martin at the front. Gaps come down to 0.9 of a second to Bagnaia in second. Frankie Morbidelli still in third, but coming under the clutches now of Alex Marquez. I think Frankie's used his tyre. Marc Marquez now. He's in fifth behind his brother. And he's looking menacing. If he's saved enough tyre, and if his body's going to hold up, you could see Marc Marquez at least getting on the podium here. As Alex Marquez into T12 moves under Frankie Morbidelli. He's a little bit wide there, Morbidelli, after Alex Marquez just kind of took his line a little bit. No touch though. Bastianini comes underneath Oliveira. They're touching elbow to elbow, coming onto the pit straight. Factory Ducati power. Beats Customer Aprilia. Into turn one, we've got Jorge Martin. Pecco Bagnaia in P2. Gap at the front, probably about 12, 13 bike lengths I would say. It's 0.8 of a second. Alex Marquez in third. Frankie Morbidelli fourth. He's falling into the clutches of Marc Marquez though, and that move's going to be done probably by the end of this lap. I'm going to go with at the bottom of T12, the bottom of the waterfall, T12, the same as his brother. Just having a look at the tyre, looks all right. on Jorge Martin at the front. It's got a little bit marked up, but I've got to say, Alex Marquez's front tyre on the right-hand side looks to be considerably marked up. 13 laps to go. Gap at the front, 0.7 as a second as we come across the line, 12 to go. Then Pecco in second to Alex Marquez in third at 0.8 of a second. So equidistance between 1, 2 and 3. Then you've got Frankie in fourth, managing to hold off Marc Marquez for now. But I've got a feeling by the end of this lap, Marc Marquez will have done the job and he'll be then chasing his brother down for the final podium spot in third position. All the leading bikes now look like they're just starting to move around a little bit more, starting to leave some rubber down. Turn 9, 10, 11. We're coming into, I don't think Marc Marquez is going to be close enough here to do the bizzo into turn 12 on Frankie Morbidelli. No. But is he lining him up into final left-hander 13? No, but he's in a good place if he gets a good drive out of this final corner to do him into T1. Marc Marquez, fifth. Frankie Morbidelli, fourth. He's not going to do it this lap though. Just holding station. Both run a little bit wide. Take a late apex though into turn 1. Now they go into the long turn 2 before the tightening turn 3. Then that's it for the right hand side of the tyre now until turn 11. It's all left-handers. Turn 4, turn 5, turn 6. Then you've got a little bit of a kind of a short straight there before we hit turn 7. Then let's call it the back straight. Before you hit turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, and there you go down the waterfall. Gap at the front, Martin to Bagnaia, 0.6 of a second. Then the gap to Alex Marquez in third is up to 1.3. I think that's because Pecco's trying to put the hammer down now and get onto the back of Martin with soon to be 10 laps to go. Marc Marquez is going to be wanting to dispatch Frankie Morbidelli, that's for sure. 10 laps left, into turn 1. Marc's not close enough. If anything, Frankie Morbidelli's wide there though. Marc tries to cut underneath him, can't quite do it. Frankie Morbidelli shuts the door, but Alex Marquez now is coming into the clutches of Frankie Morbidelli again and his brother Marc Marquez. Meanwhile, Enea Bastianini, he's kind of holding station about 7-8 bike lengths behind Marc Marquez. If he's going to be making a forward move, he's been looking after his tyre, he's going to have to be doing it any time now. Because he will run out of laps. 10 laps to go, but they are short laps, 1 minute 20s. That's not a lot of racing left. Gap at the front is still 0.7 of a second from Martin to Bagnaia. Still 1.3 seconds Bagnaia to Alex Marquez. I get a feeling Marc's going to try a block pass on Frankie Morbidelli at turn 1. It's the only way he's going to get past him, I think. He lines him up into the final corner, turn 13. Good drive out for both riders there. And Marc isn't close enough unless he's going to let the brakes off into turn 1, which he doesn't. Oh, Frankie's run really wide there though, and Marc tries to cut underneath him. They hit each other, and Marc somehow stays on, loses a little bit of ground, and he's now in the clutches of Enea Bastianini. That was Marc's line, and there Enea Bastianini cuts under Marc, but Marc gets the switch back, takes the place back. Lost a bit of bodywork there, did Marc on his Ducati. Definitely definitely heavy contact with Frankie Morbidelli. Frankie Morbidelli ran wide. Mark took the place by cutting underneath him in turn one. Frankie cut right back across. And they'll say it's a racing incident, no doubt. But let's be honest, Morbidelli knew that Mark would be in that position and tried bullying him out of it. He wants that third place from Alex Marquez, does Frankie Morbidelli. And he wasn't going to give it up to Mark. So we're watching a replay of it again. Frankie's really wide. Mark cuts under the inside. And then as he comes back onto the racing line, Morbidelli, he hits Marc Marquez's front wheel and front part of the bike. And Mark did well to stay on. Now, into turn one. This is tight between Marquez and Bastianini. Late. Bastianini had the position and Mark let the brakes off and leaned right across Bastianini. You will not go through, he says, even though I've got damaged ribs. And I'm not getting bullied out of this position. I've just had that off Frankie Morbidelli in front of me. There's no way, my friend, you're on my bike from next year. There's no way you're taking me as well. He smashed his screen as well, Mark. But he's keeping going. He's still in fifth. He's got Bastianini right on his pike though. Now he'll be gunning for Morbidelli though, will Marc Marquez. You can bet if he gets close to him, Frankie Morbidelli will be lucky to stay on the track, because you can bet Mark's going to push him out wide, meaningfully. He'll be gritting his teeth now. He'll be biting what's left of his screen. He will want that fourth position from Morbidelli, that's for sure. At the front, there's 8 laps to go. At the front, it's 0.8 of a second from Jorge Martin to Pecco Bagnaia in P2. Then 1.8 seconds from Bagnaia to Alex Marquez in P3. Then you've got Frankie Morbidelli. He'll know what's coming from Marc Marquez now after that move. Bastianini's got a good slipstream. Well, it won't be slipstream, it's too short a straight, but you know what I mean. He made up good distance on Mark there coming down the pit straight. Can't get a move done into turn one though. And the gap between Marquez and Morbidelli is 0.6 of a second. That'll diminish at a rate of knots. No further action after reviewing the Morbidelli and Marquez incident. There was a racing incident. Two riders wanted the same bit of track. But Mark won't be happy with that, and he's got a big chunk of his screen missing right in the middle. So it's still Martin at the front, 7 laps to go. His tyres looking a little bit marked up on the rear. But then Pecco's isn't looking much better, to be honest. Alex Marquez is kind of in a lonely third spot there. He's got 2 seconds to Bagnaia in front of him. And then he's probably got a similar distance to Morbidelli. So we've now got, coming onto the pit straight, we've got Morbidelli with Marc Marquez right behind him, and in turn, Enea Bastianini's right behind Marc Marquez. Once again, Morbidelli's a little bit wide there, but he gets a late apex into T1. Round his left-handers though, Marc Marquez is a demon. He just loves the left-hand circuit, doesn't he? Look at Texas. And round Sachsenring, he's been the master for years. Obviously, when he was on the dog of a Honda, he struggled towards the latter visit here, but now he's on a Ducati. We've got 6 laps to go. Martin P1, 0.8 of a second in front of Pecco Bagnaia. Their holding station. Maybe Bagnaia's no tyre left, or maybe he's hoping that Martin's going to burn his out. Then we've got Alex Marquez in third, a little bit lonely at the minute. And then we've got, this is the best action. Here we go. Block pass coming in from Marc Marquez into the final turn 13. He's going to run Frankie off the track. We knew that was coming. So he goes over the line now, having taken having taken 4th place. Bastianini's trying to do a similar move on Morbidelli that cost Marc Marquez his screen. Can't get it done though, he bails out of that one. So now we've got Marc Marquez in 4th, Frankie Morbidelli 5th, Bastianini 6th. Bastianini won't be behind Morbidelli for long, I can tell you that. And Marc's now trying to pull away. He's got 5 laps to chase his brother down who's in 3rd. He'll want that podium position. The saying blood's thicker than water won't apply to Marc Marquez when he's trying to take his brother for that final spot. Bastianini now, as they come through turn 9, turn 10, down the waterfall, he is definitely going to do Frankie Morbidelli down the hill into turn 12. He can't afford to stay behind him if he wants to go after Marc Marquez. He gets a good run out of 11 into 12. Frankie's good on the brakes, but Bastianini will take that spot. Morbidelli tries the cut back underneath but can't get the power down. Into the final turn 13, he's going to go for a block pass but he'll run wide and Bastianini will cut underneath him and power down the straight to take that position back. 4 laps to go. Marc Marquez now has probably put about 12 bike lengths in between himself and Bastianini. Frankie Morbidelli, block pass though into turn 1, takes that place back from the man on the factory Ducati. How do you like that, he says. Meanwhile, this is just allowing Marc Marquez to pull away into the distance now, and with 4 laps to go, unless his tyre falls off a cliff, he's got 4th place nailed on. But he doesn't want 4th place. He wants to be getting after his brother in 3rd, and there's a 1.5 second gap between the two. Alex Marquez in 3rd, 1.5 seconds to his brother, Marc Marquez in 4th. Gap at the fronts come down slightly to 0.7 of a second. Jorge Martin in P1, Francesco Bagnaia P2. Then a gap to Alex Marquez in P3 of 3.5 seconds. Going to try rinse and repeat here from Enea Bastianini into turn 12. But Frankie's wise to that one, closes the door. Loses a little bit of momentum though then, coming into the final turn, 13. Enea Bastianini is going to look to get a better drive out of this final corner down the pit straight. With 3 laps to go, is he going to look to do Frankie into turn 1? Don't think so. He got good drive there, did Frankie Morbidelli. He does hold that place. Enea Bastianini was hard in on the brakes. The rear was fishtailing a little bit there. But he cannot get the move done. So we've now got 1.1 seconds between Alex Marquez and Marc Marquez with 3 laps to go. Marc is going to catch his brother with a lap to go, it looks like. He's taking half a second out of him on a lap. He's now Frankie Morbidelli in 5th. He's now not going to be putting Marc under pressure with his to-in and fro-in with Enea Bastianini. That's kind of done for those two. But Marc, that gap now to his brother is down to 0.9 of a second, and let's be honest, here we go again with Morbidelli and Bastianini coming into turn 12. Frankie's late on the brakes. Enea lines him up for maybe a block pass into turn 13 onto the pit straight. Yes, he does. Cuts underneath him. Takes the space that Morbidelli wanted. Now it'll be a drag race down the straight into turn 1. Bastianini, 2 laps to go, gets that move done. What's Frankie going to do? Oh, Jorge Martin's crashed out at turn 1. What's he done? Jorge Martin's crashed out turn 1. He's in the gravel. The bike's on its side. That leaves... Oh, he's distraught. And he loses, if things stay as they are, he loses the lead in the championship. It'll be 1 point in the lead for Pecco Bagnaia. What happened? We've just seen a replay. Went into turn 1. He was slightly wide. And then he just got greedy on the brake and lost the front. He was just half a yard, if that, wide. The front just went. So now, Marc Marquez, he's going to be going not just for 3rd place, he's going to be going for 2nd. Pecco Bagnaia will be laughing all the way to the finish line, and Marc's right on the back of Alex now. coming down the waterfall to turn 12, gets that done with ease. Absolute ease. He moves into second place, does Marc Marquez. And he's pulling away now from his brother at a rate of knots with 1 lap to go. Pecco's got a 5-second lead though coming into the final lap, and he will be smiling under that helmet like you would not believe. It'll be like a Danny Ricciardo with a flip top smile. He moves into second position with ease, and he'll hold second position with ease, will Marc Marquez there. Although in saying that, we've had it where Pecco's been in the lead and he's binned it close to the end of the race. Can't remember the circuit just off the top of my head now. So what goes round comes around. Do a quick top 10. Pecco P1, Marc Marquez P2, Alex Marquez P3. How proud would their father be? Bastianini in 4th, Frankie Morbidelli 5th, Oliveira 6th, Brad Binder 7th, Pedro Acosta 8th. Good effort. Marco Bezzecchi 9th, Raul Fernandez in 10th, Quartararo 11th, Miller 12th, Fernandez 14th, Luca Marini 15th, Nakagami 16th, Zarco 17th, Stefan Bradl 18th, Johan Mir 19th, he'll just want to finish a race. Remy Gardner, he's finishing in 20th, well done, he's finished the race though at least. Good effort. As we come over the line now, it's going to be Pecco Bagnaia with a victory that he would not have expected. And especially seeing that is Keanu Reeves waving the flag. Looks like he's just got out of bed. We've got Marc Marquez in 2nd, celebrates with his brother Alex. Bastianini 4th, Morbidelli 5th, Oliveira 6th. Pedro Acosta 7th, Bezzecchi 8th, Binder 9th, Raul Fernandez 10th. Quartararo 11th, Maverick Vinales, good recovery 12th. Jack Miller 13th, Fernandez 14th. And Taka Nakagami just takes Luca Marini to get the final points position in 15th. What a race. We would not have been expecting that from Jorge Martin. It just looked like he was just marginally wide going into the turn 1, and the front went quickly as well, which suggests that his tyre was pretty shot when it goes like that. It didn't give him any warning at all. Marc Marquez, we're just having a look at his screen now. The front's missing, but there we go. Didn't slow him down any, did it, in taking his brother? And that is all she wrote. What a fantastic MotoGP race. Drama right until the end. And a win for Pecco Bagnaia. Pecco Bagnaia, Ducati rider with the most wins in the Premier class now. That's a good record to have, isn't it? He'll now take the lead in the championship, I think by 1 point, from Jorge Martin, who will be distraught with that. He was inch perfect until 2 laps to go, was it? And just slightly wide, ever so slightly wide into turn 1. Kept the brake on. And in hindsight, which is a wonderful thing, he will be wishing he'd have let that brake off and run a little bit wide. But he didn't, and he ended up on his ear in the gravel trap. And Pecco will feel like all of his birthdays have come at once. 25 points for the win. Marc Marquez in 2nd, 20 points. Alex Marquez's brother in 16th, and Julian, the dad, will be ecstatic. Tyre pressure issues just came across the bottom of the screen. Who's that for? Did I see? Tyre pressure for riders 5, Zarco, 6, Bradl, 37, Fernandez is under investigation. Bit of a pain this with the tyre pressures, isn't it? But rules is rules, and them's the rules. So we'll find out. Right. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to go and get ready for the F1 stream now. So that'll be at 5 to 3. I'll be starting on the warm-up lap at 1 o'clock, at 3 o'clock. So please feel free to join us. We'll have the chat up and going. Hopefully it's an interesting race. But if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. And if you can give us a thumbs up if you're already a subscriber, that'd be fantastic. It does help us with YouTube. It helps get the channel promoted. And if you haven't done so already, please ping that notifications bell. Keep abreast of what we've got coming up for you. I am Jimmy James. I do thank you for watching us. We'll be back soon. We'll see you shortly.